Oh my god, guys. Hey, what's up? Um, it's our pod again, my pod again, the Eliza pod. Why am I so happy? I just had like a spark in my brain. And this is gonna be a kind of like messy. Like I didn't pre-plan the script to this so I can have a coherent sentence. So beware or be mindful that like this is just an impromptu um episode of the podcast because I just got a spark, and like honestly I could cry because I haven't had a spark like this in so long. So if you do not know, some may know that I work in an elementary school. I'm a pre-K 4 teacher, but that wasn't my original plan. Um, I mean, it goes as far as to my original plan. I wanted to be a music producer. I wanted to go to school for that, and like where I'm from in Texas, there wasn't that many universities that offered that as a major, and the closest to at the time, because I think they've opened more opportunities like that closer to where I'm from, Laredo. Um, the closest to that like sort of major was um, Texas State in San Marcos, Texas. And I wanted to go there. It was my dream school because I toured it once. It was amazing. I saw myself there, but my parents didn't let me go there. I mean, looking back now, um, if I can barely pass in university now, I could imagine over there. Um, I would have to drive 5 hours away, and I didn't know how to drive at the time, and it was just, long story short, it didn't work out. I think I have a video in my second channel where I talk about that more. If not, I wanted to talk about it more, but it's just like a lot, and I just wanted to say that because I wanted to be a music person. I have a music background. I've been in bands since middle school. Um, and I was in marching band in high school, and since then, that's when I was like, I am going to be a musician. I don't know of what kind, but I fell in love with music then and there with my first show called Supernova. Marching band, our first show was called Supernova. It was a glorified Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, but I fell in love. Another like project of mine, um, because I didn't really know what type of musician I wanted to be. Like, I mean, I've always wanted to be like a singer of some sort, but like, I got into music more. I fell in love with music more when I got into band. So I was like, hey, I could be like a, I don't know. At one point, I wanted to play all the instruments in the world and learn everything, and then I don't know. I wanted to learn every instrument and then take it from there, but I didn't get to learn instruments at all. I just learned the euphonium from day one when I picked it, and that's it. That's all I got to play. Um, I kind of fell out of love with playing my euphonium, like I kind of had struggle with being a soloist. My favorite part of marching band was marching band. My favorite part of being in band was the marching band. And then second place was, the concert season. But my least favorite part was to be a soloist. Like we would do the solo and ensemble. I hated picking a solo. I didn't really care for working on it myself or playing like the etudes for district, you know, symphonies, chairs, whatever. I didn't really care for that. So in my late sophomore, maybe late junior year, I like was falling out of love with that. So I was like, I don't really want to go to college for, being a performer because honestly, music was all that I know. It was all that I knew at the time. I wasn't really good at math. I wasn't really interested in reading history and like stuff like that, for me to like go to other occupations. And at the time, I was like, I could never see myself as a teacher, so I could never be a music teacher. Mind you, I'm a teacher right now, even though it's not music, but like I'm a teacher right now. And those were the only like majors that they had in terms of music in like my city, like local universities and community college. So that's why I wanted to go out of town and like learn something new. But I like that dream that you would see on TV or whatever, kids going to their, like moving out for college in another state or whatever, and then they learn something new that they love, and then they come back and, you know, the career, their dream career. I didn't get that. But I thought the closest thing, since my parents were like, no, you cannot go 5 hours away to study, I was able to study music here. And I was like, hey, the closest thing to that is being a music teacher, because I would gain the knowledge of that, and I could like teach and then like try to make music on the side. I don't know. And that was cool and all. Like, I don't know. I was like, okay, I could be a music teacher. I even had essays in my like freshman year, technically sophomore year, as a like, I was like, I was not thinking about being a teacher, but maybe I could be a teacher for music. I could be a music teacher for all ages. I could be a band, like a band director. I don't know why. I don't know. All of these terms are so foreign to me these days. But yeah, I was like, I could be a band director. I could be this. I could be that. There's just so many like different opportunities when it comes to music. And long story short, within 2 years, I was having trouble with music. I wasn't really getting the theory. I wasn't getting the oral stuff correctly, you know, oral training. And remember when I said I hated being like a soloist? I hated performing for everybody. I loved being in the band, but I just hated being a soloist. And I just found it hard to have the time. My parents were kind of still on my ass about like, you know, staying, and like I didn't drive at the time. I got my license at 20, and then even when I was 20, I was like, you know, still kind of like I was still kind of scared of like what my parents would think about like staying for practice. I played euphonium, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that. And I live in a house. Well, duh, right? I hope so. But like to bring my instrument, like a euphonium. If you don't know what it is, it's like it's an English instrument, I think. It's like the in between of a tuba and a trombone. It's like a mini tuba, as like every euphonium player hates to say, but like that's what it is. It's like a small tuba. I saw my brother play it when he was in band, and I was like, hey, I wanna do that. And I fell in love with the thing. But yeah, like it was really difficult to like play in my house, because like it would literally like it was so loud. I think it's the loudest instrument. I'm not sure. I don't know. But like it like it would just be so loud. I would literally like sometimes I was like, why did I have to be a crazy feminist and like not pick a girly instrument like a flute or a saxophone or a clarinet, even though like I barely was good enough for like not even, I was below average on like technical stuff when it came to like the euphonium stuff, like fingering. I was trying to uh, dance around, like go around, find another word for fingering, because that's just like pause. But that's what you would do. You're like pushing down the valves, I guess. I was never really good with the technicality with that. So imagine being a flutist, a fluter, or a clarinetist, uh, or a saxophonist. I wouldn't be able to do it, but like, it was just like not, I always felt embarrassed, and like my parents, more so my dad, would hate that I was in band for the most part. Like, he would hate me, like, going to, the meets that I needed to go to, do the stuff for school, go to football games, take me early to school, pick me up late. Like, I always felt like a burden, so like, I didn't want to bring that home, but even staying in school to just practice, like, it was, I always felt like, if you couldn't tell, I'm like a people pleaser. It was just like, I couldn't even do that because my dad would say no most of the time, or he would be like, why? So it was really hard to practice even if I wanted to. Um, and so I wouldn't do good with the, all the music aspect, but more so like I didn't really have time to practice. I didn't even want to practice because as a freshman and a sophomore, like my first 2 years of being in university, I had so many credits because that's what they put me or they recommended. So I had a lot on my plate, and then I have to, study for all of that, do work for all of that, and then practice on top of that. And I know people do it a lot. Like, when you're in the arts, you literally stay in that art room, like that art department building, the whole day. Like, you would only get out if you have other courses, or you would want to eat, or you go home. You literally just, like, all of my classes were in that one building. Even that was suffocating, but yeah, I was just like, not, long story short, I think I already said that, but long story short, I wasn't really that good at, the actual music stuff, which was very sad because I really wanted a career in music, and I still do. Um, I still really do, because music is in my heart. Promising not to cry, because every time I mention about, like, oh, I didn't get to do, the type of music career I wanted to go for, but, I mean, I saw the vision with, like, being a music, teacher, um, but then, like, that dream also kind of died too, because at this point it's just like, I have to get something that, like, I just have to, find something good enough for me to get a degree on, and not like what I want, because what I want, like, is too complex and too advanced for me. Like, I don't know, I was freaking 18, 19, 20 at the time. Now I'm 23, so I could, like, know better, but, like, uh, I just, like, I have to go through all of that again. I was failing a bunch of the music classes, and there's a lot of levels. Like, for piano, there's 4 levels, and I could barely pass one. Oral training, there's, 4 levels, and I only passed, 2 of them. That was by far the easiest one of, like, the ones that are, like, mandatory. And music theory, there's 4 levels, and I barely passed the first one. The second one I failed, and, like, I think I failed it 2 times, and what I heard was, like, if you're under a scholarship and you fail the class 3 times, you are, like, you have to pay out of pocket, and it's just like, I don't have that. I don't have that. Like, the scholarship won't cover you anymore, and it's just, like, been embarrassing. It's just like, what am I doing wrong? Same thing with piano. I couldn't really stay to practice the piano, so it's just like, what the fuck? So, I mean, this could all sound like excuses. I feel like a music, major, or a person that's, like, well equipped in music, is into all of that would be like, you're just, like, not pushing yourself hard enough. because it was a really like stubborn, like a very stern type of environment when it came to music. Um, since marching band and like music, like the vibe was just very like stern and strict, and like obviously because so you can master that craft, but like it really it was really anxiety inducing, and I just couldn't get past that, so I had to get out. And I mean, I was doing music education, and it felt like doing two majors, being if I'm being honest with you, because you would do a whole education type of thing, like plan, and then a whole music type of thing. And when I would go to the education courses, I was very like intrigued, and I was like, okay, if I well, because it was considered a secondary type of certification, because there's elementary like degree plan, and then there's secondary degree plan. Like, elementary is, kinder to sixth in my case, and then 7 and to a senior year is secondary. And for music, whether you were a performer or a educator, you had to it was considered all level certification. So you could do kinder, you could do first grade, you could do fifth grade, you could do middle school, you could do high school, you could do all of that. And so they placed it in the secondary type category. So I was doing a lot. And so when I was just focusing on my education courses, it was so interesting and I really liked it. So I was like, okay, after my second year of, college, I was like, I'm not going to do music anymore. So I just changed to just elementary school, because when I said like I'm not good at anything, I'm like, I'm not good at anything. I'm not good at math, not good at science. I found out that science was difficult in university because I still cannot pass biology. And this is my third time, which is very freaking embarrassing because I was good at science at school. So, like in elementary school, but in high school. So, it's weird. I thought math was my least, best subject, but I knocked that all out of the park. And science is actually the one that I still haven't finished to this day. This would have been my graduating year, 2025. So you can see that I did 2 years of elementary school, and like I lost my scholarship, so I'm doing so it won't cover my thing, so I actually have to work, and that's why I have this job, so I can pay tuition, but it's still not enough. So anyway, I had to stop, and I don't remember where I left off, but basically, long story short, I feel like I said that a million times, but basically, 2 years of doing music didn't really work out. I thought I'd drop the music part and just stick to, regular, elementary school as a major, and I've been doing 2 years of that, and, I'm still not done. But the whole reason why I wanted to make this whole yap sesh was because every now and then I think about, and you can tell me if this is like quote unquote peaking in high school. I was not popular, but like I always think about high school because I always reminisce, my high school years, especially like my my high school years, the first, second, and third. My senior year, half of my junior year was online, and so was my senior because of COVID. So mainly my freshman, sophomore, and junior year, when I was in band, those gotta be like my favorite years, because that was like the last time I actually like felt successful, because I was like doing a lot. I felt smarter. I was doing a lot of good things academically. I felt like very like I was achieving a lot in music because I was working with something that I really enjoyed, and then like it would pay off. And doing something as fun as marching band, it was so fun. So, by the way, I don't know if you could hear the AC. I'm in my brother's room, but you're gonna deal with it. So one of the pieces that I played in band, and when I was a freshman, I don't know if everybody has this first band, second band. The first band is obviously like the older heads and like the more better players, and then like mainly the freshmen are in the second band, and you know, the not so good players, the not so strong players, I would say, were in the second band. And just because you were in the second band doesn't mean the quality is like lower. We played a really good, I was gonna say good and great at the same time, so I said like good. We played a super fun song called Imaginarium by Randall Sandridge, I believe. And I think about it at least once or twice a month, and whenever I feel nostalgic to my like high school years, I guess, back to a place where I felt like hopeful, or like I want to like go back to my music roots, because sometimes like it's only been 4 years that I've been out of high school, and only 2 years that I've been out of the music program in university, but like already I'm just like, I forgot that I was a musically inclined person at one point. So sometimes I go back to the music, and one of the songs that I played that I always go back to was called Imaginarium by Randall Sandridge. I literally just said it. And so typically when my students go outside for recess, I play like Minecraft music, like the C418 I don't know, but the Minecraft music soundtrack on YouTube. And I thought like, hey, at first I played Armenian Dances by Alfred Reed, I think. And then I was like, you know what? Let me go back to Imaginarium, because I mean, even when I first started playing the Minecraft music, I felt so nostalgic. I was just like, I literally almost cried because of how like, man, I felt so like, I feel so overwhelmed, and I feel like really like at a stump these days. So I played the Minecraft music just to feel something, and then I was just like really moved. But then I played Imaginarium, and I was looking for just an audio like posting of it, and I accidentally clicked one that happened to be the like Randall Sandridge YouTube channel. And it was not the Imaginarium, Imaginarium, and it started with like a drum cadence, and I was like, whoa, and then I started hearing some like voice lines, and I was like, whoa, wait. If you ever get the chance to like, if you want to listen to what I'm talking about, because this honestly like blew my mind. These are one of the best pieces I've heard ever, and then I got to play that, so it was very fun and very immersive at the time. So look up Imaginarium by Randall Sandridge, and there was one version that happened to be a marching band version, and I stopped it because I was like, I should listen to this like later. I won't listen to this right now, because otherwise like my mind will be to just that. I was gonna do some like other tasks, and then I listened to the legit one, I guess the first version, which was just a concert band version, which is the one that I played a couple of years ago, like a few years ago, 4 years I believe at this point. Actually no, unless I'm just not doing the math right, it's been 4 years since I've graduated. So then add 4 more years. I did that in, wow, it's been 8 years. That's crazy. That's crazy. And like I just love that piece, and it just like really takes me back to that place where I felt like very successful and hopeful in my life. And it was just a very like nostalgic and very dream core, I guess you could say, very dreamy type of song. And and I was thinking about it like like I really miss my music days. So sometimes when I listen to my old like music pieces that I played as a soloist or a band or whatever, I'm like, I should go back into music, so I could like, I don't know, it's just like it's so fun. But I've like dropped the thought of being a like band director or like going back to be a music teacher, because I'm just so focused on trying to get my degree for normal like teaching, and to do all of that all over again for music teaching is just something else. And then to relive all of that, I don't want to say trauma, but it was just like a lot of like very anxious and overwhelming feelings at the time. And I really felt like inferior because I was falling behind, and lots of people were just like zooming through. They seemed to get it, but I didn't. So I don't know if I'm like ready to go back to that. I'm just really scared. But like after like driving back home to from work, I decided to play the marching band version. And oh my god, I never thought I could love a piece even more, especially in a like updated type reimagined version. And I thought about, wow, and it really gave a spark to me, because I was like, I need to get back into music teaching. I need to get back into music. I need to get back to music education, because I want to do this as a show, and I really want to do it. And obviously I would have to do all that. So I like listened to that piece, like the marching band version of the piece, a handful of times, like at least 5 times already, within the span of like 2 or 3 hours that it has been. And I'm already like, okay, I haven't had a spark like this in a long time. I've always had like moments where I'm just like, I want to do this, like when it comes to like creatively, or like when it comes to like my career stuff. I've always had like these few like kind of goals, but I just knew that like maybe having this attitude towards it of me like, I already know that I'm not really going to like achieve it, or like right now I won't really achieve it. Maybe in long term I could achieve it, so I'm not focusing on it right now. But like with this, I had a like, what do you say, like a wow moment, or like a aha moment is what they say, where I'm just like, yo, I should go back into music teaching, become a music educator, and I could be a band director, and I could do this show, and I think it would be awesome. And not only that, I wanted to revive another project that I wanted to do, and it's gonna be like a long-term project. And I've tried starting it, but like how I said before, like whenever I type something on a Word document or want to script something, I get tired really easily. Like my mind is going like a million miles an hour or whatever, and then like my pencil and my like fingers or wrist or whatever, my hands, if I'm typing, it's just like not fast enough, and like I get tired and I get bored easily. Because one project that I wanted to do was, I wanted to do like a book or a documentary of myself, kind of like is a biopic the correct term, but like not a biopic, a biography, or more so an autobiography of me, with my struggles with like my music like career. I was gonna do a book or like a documentary of me, like struggling to get my music, to get my groove on, if you can say, with music. And obviously I had to start with like the beginning, and then like the middle would be kind of, well, there's like parts to it, like the beginning, and then like high school, where I was like really high in the sky with like, I really want to do music. And then like after the COVID and graduation part, where I'm just like maybe not so hopeful, and then I go into music in university, and then like what I just said, that it didn't really work out, and then a huge slump moment, and then me not being in a music setting. I'm just a normal teacher aide right now. And then like when I get my shit together, I could be something in music. I don't know. And I already got tired of making that like book or whatever, just the script to it, because I really wanted to make it into a documentary. And then now I was thinking like, this is how crazy that I want to get back into like whatever. This is how crazy the spark is. I want to not only do that documentary, but make another documentary where, let's say I do become a band director. I want to like document the whole like journey of my first show, in like my first marching show as a first year band director. And then I do Imaginarium, and then I do all these things that entail to be a band director. And like, I think that would be an awesome project. Like, I was thinking about it, I was like already getting ahead of myself, like I'm already thinking way out of the blue. But it's just like, I'm not really known, at least within myself, that to achieve my goals. I think I make too far-fetched goals for my situation now, and it's just like whatever the case, my situation is right now, because right now I'm barely struggling to like get by with living. And then I also have to think about like going back to school to finish elementary teaching for that degree. And then if I want to do the music career, I mean, ideally I want to do a couple of years of like teaching as a teacher, and then I would have to go back to school to earn a degree for to be a band director. And that's a lot more, like I explained earlier. So it's just like I have to come back down to reality when it comes to that. But like, I really want to do it, and obviously if I want to do it, I have to actually get it done. But like, yeah, that sounds like really cool. I can do Imaginarium. I love that piece. And then it'll be like a couple of like maybe a full 4 years until I can do the normal Imaginarium as a a concert piece for the concert season. But yeah, like focusing on the marching part, because that marching piece, like, I'll probably link it below. I will link it below because it's such a good piece. I'll link the normal. I gotta stop saying normal. The original piece. I'll post also the marching band piece that blew my mind. And there's gotta be a video of like when I was in high school playing that. Probably not. I know there's some videos out there of me when I was in the first band. Not of me, but like my band at the time, like 2018, 2019. It's gotta be that year. So yeah, like I really want to do it, and it's like I can see it, I like it, and then it feels really good to be like motivated and to have like a new like idea, and then you realize that like reality hits, and it's just like, oh, I have all of these obstacles in the way, but like maybe I can do it. I already texted my friend like, yo, they made a new song, like a new version of the song that we played in high school, and it really makes me want to go back to music, and they didn't reply. So I don't know, it's just like I'm already telling the whole world. I already told my mom that does not give a fuck, and it's just like, wow, I could really do this. I could really do this. I just gotta put my mind into it, and then I gotta get my shit straight. Like, at first I gotta finish like the first part of my original documentary, and I was gonna keep all of this in as a secret. I haven't even told my friends or anything, but I just thought like the idea was too good. So I'm not saying it to put it on the record that I am gonna do it, so like heads up, but like this is a project that I wanted to do, so like if I do it, I will be very glad to show it to the world. But if I don't, then it's gonna like don't hate me that I didn't get it done. So yeah, I don't know, it's just like really cool that, you know, I don't know if anybody else has been there. They've had a slump. They're kind of at a like mundane routine, and then they get a really good idea that's like it seems doable, and you're just like, you think about it and it makes you feel really good. I don't know. It's just like that's how I was feeling for the past like 3 hours because of the discovery of an old song that I used to play in high school that I really loved. So yeah, that's it. So I don't know, I hope everybody believes in me, all -7 of people who check out my channel. Yeah, believe in me. Maybe I'll get it done. I want to get it done. That sounds like an awesome goal to achieve, so hopefully I do it. So yeah, thanks for listening.